Hey y'all, I'm in the kitchen today and I am going to be water bathing pinto beans. Yes, you heard me right. I'm going to be doing it the way the Amish or the Europeans and many Americans do it. Now, if you're someone that likes to do things by the book and you like to follow the recommendations by the alphabet group, then you can pressure can these. You can also water bath them. The time to water bath them is going to be quite a bit different than pressure canning. So if you'd like to learn more, then continue watching. So here's the beans I'm using. I had a 2-pound bag of pinto beans. I have pre-soaked them. And now I'm going to drain and rinse them and soak them a second time before I can them tomorrow. So soak once, rinse, and then soak a second time. As usual, I am sterilizing my jars, rings, and lids. Over here, I am rinsing my beans that I've already soaked twice. And next they will be going into the jars. You don't have to do this step. You can just fill your jar halfway up with dry beans, but I find it comes out better for me, for my purpose, if I do the soak and rinse first. While I get those jars ready, I have some salt pork here, and I'm going to cut it into some small pieces. You can see by my hand about how big it is. I'm going to be putting 1 piece per jar, which gives a little bit extra flavor. We're also going to be using kosher canning salt. You can also put your other seasonings in, but I like to have cans of plain because I don't know if I'll be using them for refried beans or for chili, so it's best to just not add my seasonings now and season them later. If you're trying to do a salt-free diet, you technically don't have to add the salt, but it does help in preserving the beans. Alrighty, got all my salt pork cut up. Now let's start filling our jars. You also, in the meantime, need to start heating up a kettle or pan full of water. And you need to bring it to boiling. We're going to be using that hot water to pour over our beans. Alright, so in each jar, I'm going to put a piece of the salt pork. Then I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of salt to each jar. Now I'm going to start putting my soaked beans in my jar, about 3/4 of the way full. Just because I soaked these doesn't mean that they're not going to get bigger, even after soaking twice. I'll probably need to take some out in a minute, but you get the idea. Actually, I think this time I'm going to try to do them about half full, so that adds more liquid to the... I'm going to do them about half full. These are great for a quick side dish, or if you're wanting to make chili and you don't want to have to wait for the beans to be cooked, they're already cooked for you. Just like you buy in the store. Alright, so I did them half full. Some of them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish getting my other jars filled, and then I will be back to tell you what to do next. All right, my water is boiling, so I'm going to fill my jars up, leaving an inch headspace. And as usual, if you over pour, you can take some out. Don't burn yourself with this boiling water. Although it's not as bad as boiling sugar syrup. Ask me how I know that. If it's easier for you to use a ladle, then go ahead. But I still have to cook dinner, so I'm in a hurry as usual. I'm just gonna do this the fast way. Probably gonna run out of water and need to make some more. But these are going in 2 different pots to water baths, so just get these first ones started. If you choose not to pre-soak your beans, you're gonna need to leave an 1.5 inch headspace. And forewarning, your beans may not be as soft as you like, and you may have to cook them once you've opened them. And by cook them, I mean you'll have to heat them up longer than you would if you just if you pre-soaked them. Use something to debubble it. I'm just using a chopstick to debubble mine. And now I'm going to clean my rings real good. Whether you use vinegar or water is up to you. I don't care. Just be sure and get them wiped off. In case you got some salt or something on grease from the salt pork on there. You want to get a good seal. Don't want these popping open in your pantry. Alright, now let's get those lids and rings on. Just going to put them on finger tight. That ring is just there to hold that lid on. You're not tightening them down. Alright, let's get these into the water bath canner. As you can see one. Alright, now that they are at a rolling boil, I will water bath these for the next 3 hours, and I will top it off with water from my Keurig as needed. Alright, it's been 3 hours. I'm going to turn this off and let these sit here and cool for a minute. And here they are the next day. They've all cooled down. I have taken my rings off. As you can see, I could have fit more than half a jar, but that's fine. I wiped the hard water stains off the top. I've checked them all to make sure that they sealed. And this should be a few months of refried beans, or just beans as a side dish for Tommy and I. Or to use in chili, you know, whatever. I think you know the various ways to use pinto beans by now. So anyway, that is one way to can pinto beans. I hope this video was helpful. Like I think I said earlier, if you want to pressure can yours, that's your decision. I did just want to show that some people, including myself, the Amish, and most Europeans, water bath our beans. And we're still doing it and haven't hurt anyone after 20 years. And no, we haven't just gotten lucky. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe.